Welcome back, everybody. This is Eric and Chad here with Iraq Veteran 8888. Today we got another Gun Gripe episode for you, and this one, this one might make some people a little angry, but I think it's important to talk about, and that's shoot what you got. All right, that's what today's Gun Gripe is. And what does that mean, shoot what you got? Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, a lot of people get hung up on, oh, well, I need the latest and greatest space gun that's on the cover of Recoil magazine, and they get obsessed with keeping up with the Joneses and trying to do this and do that. And in doing so, they actually forget the reason that you own a gun in the first place. And they lack the motivation to train themselves on what they have access to.
They also kind of lose track of fundamentals, too, because like one example starting out would be, okay, well, I can't hit what I'm aiming at with my iron-sighted rifle, so I need a scope.
Right.
You know, but whatever.
And then it's also an expense thing. You know, a lot of folks may not have a ton of money to spend on an initial investment for a gun, and maybe they get discouraged because, you know, they might show up to a 3-gun match and then see some guy with a space gun with all this random stuff hanging off of it and think, oh, well, I don't even want to show up and try to compete or shoot because I'm worried that someone's going to make fun of me because I don't have the coolest thing. Or, you know, people have this this keep up with the Joneses type mentality, and it's a very I guess American-like trait. You know, we like to be the biggest and the best and keep up with everybody, and
we're very competitive.
We are very competitive in nature, and sometimes our buying is competitive. I mean, a lot of folks will go to a social event with some friends and go shoot and have some fun and see that their buddy has the latest and greatest whatever, you know, enter your gun design there or whatever, but they have the latest and greatest or whatever, and then all you can do is, oh, I have to outdo this person and get something better. It's hard to not get around that because I know that a lot of folks are kind of competitive, and it's a friendly thing where you just want to be able to feel accepted within a group of people, and sometimes that is a form of feeling accepted, is by being able to keep up with the interests and wants of your friends. However, the real part of it that I think is important is that then you begin to lack the reason you even own guns. I mean, if it's causing you to not get out and shoot, not get out and compete, or not get out and hunt, then that becomes a problem. So, I mean, we encourage people, shoot what you got. You know, it's just crazy. There's great deals out there that can be had in terms of expense in guns, but a lot of the guns that we have on this table are actually firearms that a lot of people probably already have laying around that are somewhat entry level, and then in some cases, people are like, oh, well, I don't want to shoot that anymore because it's not the space age crap that my buddies have, or they feel some inadequacy that really doesn't even need to exist at all because it's not true.
Yeah, like you talked about just a while ago, you know, keeping up with the Joneses, like you see what your buddy's got, or you go to a competition or something like that for your first time, you see all this crazy stuff, and you're like, man, I got to have all that stuff, and you buy all this stuff, and then you run out of money, then you don't have money to go to the range, you don't have money to buy ammo to shoot what you've got.
That's right.
You know, because you've got stuff laying all over the place, but then you don't shoot it because you don't have the funds or the time or, you know, whatever to go and actually use what you got.
That Palmetto A2 right there, that's kind of a classic A2 build from Palmetto State Arms.
Yep.
And in case you guys don't know what those guys are about, I mean, they are an awesome group of people, and they have some excellent entry-level ARs that work great. I mean, these days you can build an AR for less than $400. And I'm telling you, there's no reason to not own an AR, but you notice this gun's just got a carry handle upper, iron sights, and guys, a good Marine or soldier behind one of these guns that's sighted in good, trust me, you don't need a dang scope, okay? You don't have to have all the space age stuff to be able to make long shots. You just think you do. It's a mental block. You have to have faith in your abilities, and you have to hone those abilities and make that tool work for you. It's good enough for the Marines, it's good enough for you.
Yep. If I was only going to have one AR, it would be a 20-inch gun like this. You know, with a carry handle. Now, this is like an Olympic Arms carry handle upper that I picked up and the A2 sight base and everything, and put this all together. And the parts from Palmetto. It's built on an Anderson lower, so it's cheap. I mean, $40 lower, you know. And it's got the mil-spec trigger in it. I didn't put a guy's lens. I wanted to keep it all nice and stock. And
we should do a range video with this gun. Go out and just sight it in according to military standards, and just go out and shoot 500 yards with it.
It's got a 1 in 7 twist barrel, so it can handle a wide range of ammunition. Now, if I wanted to accessorize this gun, say I wanted to make it into more of like a home defense gun, I shoot this thing all the time, okay? like I remember seeing in the LaRue catalogs, LZ, is a company, they make these little flashlight mounts that go on the front sight base. So you can buy the mount for like $25 and then put your flashlight in there and have your little pressure pad right here. You don't need a rail to put a flashlight on your gun. Also, you don't need a rail to put an optic on your gun. Aim point, like the old Comp M3s and the M4s and such, the mil-spec models, they have a little rail attachment that goes right here and on the carry handle and attaches here, and it drops the optic down in front. So you have like a reflex style optic. And it's the perfect thing to have. He just walked out of the room to go grab one, I guess. But it's the perfect thing to have for that. And it's an easy way to accessorize what you have if you want something like that. That's it right there. So it drops right on the carry handle. And you don't have to have an A3 style.
I'm fumbling. I'm all thumbs today.
It's early, so. But anyways. So it drops right there. You've got a little, like a weaver attachment right here. And then the aim point, the mount just clips right into place. You latch it on, and then you're good to go. You battle sight zero that thing, at 50 yards or whatever you want to do, and you run with it.
Yeah, you get the idea here. I'm fumbling around.
But like I said, I mean, a basic simple rifle like this will get the job done, and you can get good shots out to 300-400 yards with this thing, even further. You're just using the dial on the irons, and just getting good behind the irons.
So again, an example of shoot what you got.
And like I said early on, you go out to the range, a guy goes out to the range, he's got a little mag pull backup sight on here, and he can't get it zeroed, he can't shoot it worth crap, and he just gets disheartened, and he says, you know what, I need an optic. But then, he's not working on the fundamentals there.
He's not taking the time to sight the rifle in properly.
He jumps right to the gun, and it's like, okay, well, I got to get an optic so I can shoot this better. No, you just need to practice getting behind the rifle.
You just need to learn how to shoot.
And, you can befriend people at the range or talk to a buddy. It's like, hey, man, I'm having some problems. Don't be prideful or whatever. Just say, I have some problems with my iron sights. I can't quite get them sighted in. Look on the internet. There's plenty of tutorials about it, how to shoot, and go back out and practice some more.
Excellent.
Don't spend the money on that optic. Spend the money on ammo and go out and practice some more.
Here's a good example. This is a police trade-in CZ75 that I picked up. I bought some of these back around Christmas. And, just to give as like little projects, gifts to people as like a little project. And I want to say I paid like $270 for these guns.
They were not expensive.
And they weren't expensive, and they're just early CZ75s. But I'll tell you what, I don't get me wrong, I love all the modern handguns that are out there and everything like that, and I can shoot a lot of them with a fair bit of consistency. But I tell you what, man, there ain't nothing like a CZ75.
CZ75, man, it's hard to beat. They are smooth shooters.
I mean, this gun just will really throw those rounds right in there, and if you do your part. Now, you get an older gun like that, they might need a spring kit or maybe some fresh mags, but other than that, they're generally going to deliver the goods for you. And the thing about that, again, shoot what you got. I mean, you see these guys that show up to competitions and they got all these crazy space guns with all the random stuff all over it. And yeah, I know I'm... All right, so like, this is a Smith & Wesson M&P 9L, and that's got a Trijicon RMR slide rider on it. And a supported barrel. It's a 5.4-inch match grade barrel, I believe.
I'm glad you remember.
And man, this is a killer gun. But you don't have to have this, guys. You can get by with a basic gun if you apply the fundamentals. Learn how to shoot, because I guarantee you, the guy that's out there competing with a gun like that can grab this gun and shoot good too, because he or she, Julie Galab, or she's an amazing shooter, and then. You look at people like that, and they know how to shoot. They're using this gun to enhance what they have already taken in and learned.
The fundamentals.
They're enhancing the fundamentals they already have in place. But I promise you, Julie could take this 75 and shoot circles around most guys. So don't think that the equipment automatically gives you a free pass to be Mr. John Wick overnight. You're not going to be that guy without a bunch of practice.
But the internet told me so.
But the internet told you, that's just an example.
So say you have the CC75, and this is, you got it on sale or whatever. This is much cheaper than a brand new Glock or even a used Glock, okay? Doesn't have a rail on the front of it for a light or anything like that. Well, you carry one in your pocket. So you buy your little Surefire or Streamlight or something, or an O-Light, you put that in your pocket, and then you go out to the range and stuff. You train like drawing with your flashlight and stuff, and shooting like at night and this, that, and the other. They do make night sights for these if you so choose to want to upgrade them. But use what you've got. Don't buy a new gun that's already got factory night sights unless you really want to. Now, I'm not going to complain if you want to buy a Glock 19 because I love my Glocks.
You know, or in the situation of, and again, this video is geared towards a guy who might already have some gear laying around. Maybe you already have a basic handgun, a basic AR. We're trying to encourage you to get out and learn the fundamentals if you don't already have it. You can't improve upon a basis that doesn't exist. And buying all the fancy gear isn't going to do anything for you if you don't understand those basic fundamentals and learn it. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong.
It's certainly not going to make you a better shot, you know, having the best thing out there. I mean, it'll enhance your ability for sure, but you got to know how to shoot first.
So in 3-gun, there's actually a discipline called heavy metal. And in heavy metal, there's basically you run, I think you run like single stack 45s.
308.
You have to run 308 battle gun, like an FAL or something like that. And then you have to run a pump action
12 gauge
shotgun. So guys, these guns do have their place. You don't have to have the fancy tricked out shotgun. This is just my little Marine Magnum. It's a real basic gun. It's a Remington. It's an 870 Marine Magnum, and it's not an overly fancy gun. And guys, you don't have to spend a ton of money to get a decent gun and apply those fundamentals, that muscle memory, you know, the continuous, you know, that motion of working the shotgun and using it. Even a Stevens 320, or a basic little TriStar, or even just an entry-level pump shotgun can help you apply the fundamentals and get down, you know, like reloading under stress or moving or any of those things you want to apply from a training aspect to your shotgunning. Or if you're just going out and blowing up clay pigeons or shooting 2-gallon soda jugs, who cares? A 320 from Stevens or a cheaper gun will do the goods just as well.
That's a perfect thing that I just thought of. Like, okay, an 870 or a 590 or a 500 or something like that, you know, they do have interchangeable barrels. So you can go from an 18-inch like home defense type barrel or self-defense barrel, okay, for close quarters type stuff. You can go to a 26 or 28 or 30-inch dove barrel or a clay barrel, and you can even put a rifle barrel on there and shoot deer and stuff with it. So we always talk about shotguns being versatile and utilitarian, which we've talked about in the past. Use what you've got. So you got one gun, but 3 different configurations that are immensely useful. But also, if you don't think a pump action can be run fast, just go watch Jerry Miculek run a 500. I mean, it's wildly entertaining.
It's insane.
It is insane, but they can be run fast.
Again, he has taken the fundamentals to a completely different level through years of experience, training, and just honing his craft.
The guy's a monster,
That's what you have to do. Now, stepping away from shotgun, so there's rifle, pistol, shotgun. All right, well, what about milsurps? Okay, so what about these guys that end up going on the new, and I hate to use recoil as a scapegoat, but, you know, they go in the newest recoil magazine article and they see a $10,000 sniper rifle with all this fancy mess all over it and fancy stocks and all this stuff. And they think, oh, well, if I buy that, I'm going to be Chris Kyle. And
I buy that, I can shoot 3,000 yards.
Yeah, I can shoot 1,000,000 yards or whatever. You know, they have these grossly, I guess, over-glorified expectations about what they, you know, but you have to know how to operate the gun to draw everything you can out of it. I mean, guys, show up to the range with old iron sight milsurp. I mean, like, this K31 right here, I know you guys are going to think I'm full of crap. But the other day we were out shooting K31s, and with GP11 service ammo, I was hitting an 8-inch popper at 600 yards of open sights. Maybe not every time, like the guy with the space age bolt gun can, but
pretty dang close.
But the fundamentals required to make the shot at 600 with this gun far outweigh what you would need with a fancier bolt gun, in a way. So if I can do it with this, imagine what I can do with an optic and all of that too. So it's all about learning and applying the fundamentals and learning how to shoot and learning how to do all those things prior to upgrading your equipment. And even though I own modern bolt-action rifles like Remington 700s that are set up pretty dang nice, bottom metal and, you know, nice Leupold Mark 6 optics and
good
all this kind of mess and hand loads, yes, that is great to be able to go out and enjoy that gun and really hone it in, but I still have a soft spot for the classics because this is the kind of guns I learned how to shoot on. I cut my teeth on military surplus rifles, and if you can shoot these guns good, you can shoot anything.
The first milsurp that I ever had any experience with was a Mosin that Eric owned. And my brother has a Mosin that Eric gave him not terribly long ago, and he loves shooting that gun. We've given him the bug.
I had to give him one because I let him shoot one of mine, and he just loved it so much. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna.
We were out shooting just store-bought ammo with that thing, nothing special. And we were I got him on the target at 300 yards. It's a 22-inch round, but trying to teach him the fundamentals of iron-sighted shooting and whatnot, and proper positioning, trigger control, and a Mosin is a perfect example of what to start somebody on. I mean, if that's all you got, use it. And the ammo's cheap too.
If you got it, use it. And the thing is, too, with these older bolt actions, the quality of them is excellent. Especially the K31s are excellent quality rifles, very accurate, superbly accurate, actually.
Look.
And look, irons don't have batteries that go dead. They don't have parts that break. You're going to be hard pressed to ruin this gun.
Well, and to the older military rifles, in my opinion and just experience, they are much better made than just about any factory rifle out there aside from something custom. Because these rifles were carefully machined, hand fitted, and they were put together with immense care, unlike we see from some manufacturers today.
Agreed.
So just want to put that out there.
My thing is, I can't tell you how many times I've gone to a shoot and shown up with a K31, and people look at me like I'm crazy. They look at me like I'm from Mars.
But then when you're hitting,
when I'm ringing that steel at 500 or 600 yards, boy, they pay attention.
Not even that, shooting 4-inch bottles of tannerite or whatever, some sort of explosive at like a machine gun shoot. So he shows up to a machine gun shoot with the K31, and he's setting off little tannerites, at like Piedmont. Everybody's trying to blow this stuff up, and they can't hit. And he goes, pow.
Yep. So aim small, miss small. Make a deliberate effort to shoot what you're aiming at and learn the fundamentals. And these guns are excellent for that because, boy, they do it.
Oh, yeah.
I can tell you that much. There's
All
nothing.
right.
All right, so hunting rifles. All right, so going from AR, pistol, I guess this is kind of a 5 guns in a way. It's a Gripe and a 5 guns, but you got your rifle, pistol, shotgun, Milsurp / long range rifle. What about a hunting rifle? Well, this is an old, this is a 1939 Winchester, or I'm sorry, blasphemy. It's a Marlin 336 and 32 special, and it's a 39, and this is a great gun, and because it's a 32 special, it's a weirder caliber. I ended up scoring this gun for a pretty cheap amount of money, but you will not find a better made lever action rifle than an older Marlin like this.
I've got a, you guys have seen it in the brush gun video that we did, and this one's going to wind up in a brush gun video.
It's going to be in the next brush gun video.
So we're going to revisit that. But
we are.
I've got this 35 Remington that I bought from a fella that belonged to his grandfather, and that man carried that rifle in the woods for no telling how long. It's a 1951 336, no optic, just the buckhorn style sights, just simple. The bluing's all worn off on it.
Yep.
The wood is kind of worn, and it's just a nice classic rifle. And there are no telling how many deer that rifle dropped.
Yep.
And the 336 is one of the most popular hunting rifles in the country.
And you look at this gun too. Notice what's an important feature about this particular gun.
Oh, you've got the
it's not drilled and tapped.
It's not drilled and tapped, but the receiver is just flat on top, so there's no provision for an optic, unlike the modern guns.
Exactly.
So you have to use the irons.
Go in the woods and shoot.
Yep. But something like that, I paid like $300 for that 35, and that gun, there's no way that I could replace that gun with anything other than, say, like maybe a Savage Axis or some inexpensive like Remington 783 or something like that. But then you got to put a scope on it because they don't come with iron sights. And sure, you may not be able to see into the twilight like you could if you put, say, a gold ring loophole or something on your hunting rifle, whatever the case is.
There's been more deer killed with one of these guns than anything out there, but that's because
they practice the fundamentals.
That's because they practiced fundamentals, and what did they do? They used what they had.
Yep.
So
they used what they had.
Don't be afraid to use what you got, and
put that on a T-shirt.
Put it on a T-shirt, but. I think that hopefully the kind of thought process within this video hopefully is accepted well, and maybe you guys understand where we're coming from.
It was a little random.
It is a little random, but the thing is, like, there's nothing wrong with having something cool and something nice and having a nicer gun after you've learned the fundamentals. Okay, so you go and buy your first car. You're not going to buy a race car and go out and drive a race on the first day. No, you're going to start out with something and get to be a good driver.
But I saw it on the internet.
Oh, yeah, but the thing is, though, baby steps. A lot of people are too quick to want to jump into something, and then they realize they think it's not for them when they don't realize that they're really just trying to go too fast too soon. Learn the fundamentals, shoot what you got, show up to the shoot, have fun with your friends, use what you got. Yeah, it's cool to like, maybe some of the neat things that they bring, but if your friends don't understand that you're just trying to learn the fundamentals, that you're a beginner, or that you're just trying to become proficient with what you have, then they're not your friends anyway.
Well, look,
if they don't understand that.
Most of the people in the gun world are really good people. Like, we talked about 3-gun competition and stuff earlier, like folks not wanting to get discouraged and whatnot. No one at a 3-gun competition is going to discourage anybody from the gear that they have, or because of the gear they have. I mean, there might be the onesie-twosie that point fingers and stuff, but those are just, the a-holes. But most people are going to be like, hey, man, what do you need? You want to try out my gun or whatever? They're going to be immensely helpful. So don't even think about shying away from that.
We need you. We need all of you. So it doesn't matter. Don't think that because you're not the next Jerry Mitchell that you're not important to be there and be a part of the community, the gun world. I think that the gun folks are really some of the nicest people you'll ever meet. I've never been to an event or anything where people haven't been just the most awesome folks they could possibly be.
For sure.
So keep that in mind. Just try to have fun. That's an important part of this Gripe too. Have fun. Shoot what you got. Have fun. Apply the fundamentals.
And don't worry about all the other crap. The peer pressure, whatever you might think is out there.
You perceive it, but it's really not there. That's the thing. So, guys, thanks for watching today's video. Get out and shoot. More importantly, get out and shoot. Take your kids shooting. Get out there, have fun, go shoot what you got, be happy, and I think that's really the kind of main point of this this Gripe. So guys, thanks for watching. We appreciate the support. Many more videos on the way. We've got more Gripes on the way, more firearms facts. We also do reloading and gunsmithing content from time to time. We've also got gun reviews, a series called The Meltdown, and we've got one more special series that we're going to be debuting soon that I hope you guys are going to like, but I promise it'll only take a minute. So, guys, have a good one. We'll catch you next time.
See you guys.